I want you to close your eyes and picture a world where Cristiano Ronaldo never existed.
Cristiano!
No towering headers, no unstoppable free kicks, no iconic... Think that only changes a few football stats? Think again. Remove CR7 and you unravel the entire legacy of Manchester United's glory years, slash billions off of Nike's global empire, deny Real Madrid of some of their biggest Champions League triumphs, and even send shockwaves through entire economies, from Portugal all the way to the Middle East. Ready to see how one missing superstar could reshape sports, business, and social media in ways you never thought possible? Strap in, because what you're about to discover is far more shocking than you could ever imagine. Life is a delicate thing. The odds of our existence are impossibly small, yet here we are. A billion things had to go exactly right for us to be born. In the case of Cristiano Ronaldo, there was one decision that was made that almost brought reality to this hypothetical situation. His mother, struggling with poverty and uncertainty, considered ending her pregnancy, believing she couldn't provide for the life growing inside of her. But a single doctor's defiance to perform the operation is the sole reason why we have the global icon known as Cristiano Ronaldo. Without that doctor, he may have never been born. But let's say one of the countless reasons for Ronaldo not to exist actually came to pass. Beyond the obvious impact on football history, which we'll get to later, I want to focus on something often overlooked: the financial ripple effect. Companies like Nike and other global giants have built entire campaigns, products, and brand identities around Ronaldo. Without him, their trajectory would look completely different. So let's dive into how his absence would have reshaped the business side of sports. Ronaldo signed with Nike in 2003 and became one of its most valuable endorsers. Nike's overall revenue surged during his era, growing from $11 billion in 2003 to about $49 billion in 2022, a more than four-fold increase. While this growth had many drivers, having Ronaldo as a flagship athlete coincided with Nike pulling ahead of rivals in key markets. In the same period, Adidas revenue rose from roughly $6.2 billion in 2003 to about $24 billion in 2022, only about half of Nike's total. Nike's dominance in the football apparel market was bolstered by Ronaldo's global appeal, just as Adidas benefited from Lionel Messi. A 2018 analysis found that Ronaldo's social media posts, where he wore Adidas-sponsored Real Madrid kits, actually generated $260 million in brand value for Adidas, whereas Messi's posts in Nike-sponsored Barcelona kits generated $111 million for Nike. Which just goes to show that no matter who Ronaldo represents, he brings in the most value by far. His personal line of boots and apparel drove significant sales in Nike's soccer category, where he wore over 90 different cleat models in his career. In 2016 alone, Ronaldo's social media presence generated an estimated $474 million worth of marketing value for Nike. Essentially, free advertising via 329 posts featuring the Nike swoosh. Nike's investment in Ronaldo clearly paid off. One Instagram post celebrating Portugal's Euro 2016 win, with Ronaldo using Nike's Just Do It slogan, was calculated to yield $5.8 million in media value for Nike. Some marketing analysts credit star athletes like Michael Jordan for basketball, Tiger Woods for golf, and CR7 for football with anywhere from 5 to 15% of the brand's intangible iconic status. Suppose we assume that Ronaldo contributed just 5% of Nike's brand equity growth from 2003 onward. Over 20 years, Nike's market cap soared by roughly $140 billion. If we assume just a 5% share, this figure approaches $7 billion in hypothetical market cap. Even that is modest compared to a $150 billion business, but still billions of dollars that arguably hinge on one athlete's consistent presence, global marketing, and social media synergy. Realistically, losing Cristiano Ronaldo alone probably wouldn't let Adidas leapfrog Nike's entire global sportswear empire, but the gap would be significantly diminished. Maybe an additional $5 to $10 billion closer than what we see today, or potentially even more if you factor decades of lost momentum for Nike in football. But let's get one thing straight. Cristiano Ronaldo isn't just a footballer. He's a social media phenomenon. He's currently the most followed person on Instagram right now with over 647 million followers. Without him existing, Lionel Messi, who has about 504 million followers, would be the most followed person on Instagram. But it's safe to say that number would be lower, and some other celebrity like Selena Gomez or Kylie Jenner would take that number one spot, without Ronaldo being able to blast football into the global stratosphere. Not to mention, Ronaldo's social media is a marketing goldmine. Sponsors pay top dollar for a mention on his page, knowing a single post can reach hundreds of millions of people. In 2019, it was reported that Ronaldo's posts integrated sponsors so well that his Instagram alone was valued at $47.8 million to brands, more than many companies' entire ad budgets. No single person would deliver the 250 million engagements that Ronaldo generated annually by himself, with the next being Selena Gomez, who'd only get about 100 million engagements. And it's not just Ronaldo's sponsors that reap rewards. His clubs and teammates have also ridden the Ronaldo wave on social media. When he transferred to Juventus in 2018, the club gained an astonishing 2.2 million new followers in the 24 hours after the announcement. Over the next year, Juventus' Instagram base skyrocketed from 9.8 million to 33.5 million followers, a 242% increase solely attributed to Ronaldo's presence. I think it's safe to say that teams like Real Madrid and Manchester United would lose 10 to 20 million followers without Ronaldo being present. And Juventus would most likely lose around 30 million followers without Ronaldo being there to boost their social media numbers. And we haven't even gotten to the ticket sales that Ronaldo brings in. His presence has a proven effect on ticket demand, pricing, and even local tourism. When Juventus signed Ronaldo in 2018, they immediately hiked season ticket prices by 30% on average. Despite the increase, all 29,000 season tickets sold out in record time. The demand to see Ronaldo was so high that even smaller Serie A clubs cashed in. For example, when Juventus visited low-profile teams, those clubs often marked up matchday ticket prices dramatically, in some cases up to 600% for the Ronaldo game compared to their regular fixtures. Juventus' ticket sale revenue jumped about 10% from when Ronaldo was signed. If we be modest and attribute 5% of ticket sale revenue to Ronaldo just being on the team, Manchester United would lose an estimated 40 million euros, Real Madrid would miss out on over 100 million euros, and Juventus would lose around 25 million. Not to mention how Al Nassr misses out on the immediate international spotlight, losing unknown but significant ticket and hospitality revenue from drastically higher demand for Ronaldo matches, possibly a multi-million dollar shortfall every match. And we haven't even taken into account the record-breaking jersey sales that Ronaldo brings in. When he joined Real Madrid in 2009, fans caused the CR7 kit sales to explode. Real Madrid reportedly sold just over 1 million Ronaldo jerseys in his first year, an unheard of figure at the time. By the mid-2010s, Ronaldo accounted for an estimated 40% of all Real Madrid shirt sales. In other words, 2 out of every 5 Real Madrid jerseys sold worldwide carried Ronaldo's name, an enormous concentration on one player. Without Ronaldo, Real Madrid would have sold far fewer jerseys in that era. No other single player in the history of Real Madrid consistently sustained such a large share. At Juventus in 2018, the story repeated. In the 24 hours following Ronaldo's official signing, 520,000 Juventus jerseys with Ronaldo's name on it were sold, generating roughly $62.4 million in gross sales. To put that in perspective, Juventus' total jersey sales for the entire previous season were about 850,000 units. So in one day, Ronaldo equaled nearly 61% of the club's annual shirt sales volume. This was record-shattering. The fastest-selling jersey in Italy's history meant Juventus stores worldwide had lines out the door. Clearly, without Ronaldo, Juventus would not have enjoyed this frenzy. The club's kit manufacturer Adidas benefited immensely from the demand. In Ronaldo's absence, Juventus might have sold a respectable number of shirts, but nothing close to 500,000 overnight. On Manchester United's return of Ronaldo in 2021, he broke Premier League records. The moment it was announced he'd wear the iconic number 7 shirt again, fans globally rushed to buy it. Ronaldo's new Manchester United jersey became the fastest selling in Premier League history. Within a week or two, sales hit $257 million. Manchester United's portion of that was about $13.5 million, essentially covering his transfer fee before he even played a game. Without Ronaldo, the football merchandise market would lose one of its top revenue generators. There would be no more CR7 jersey launch crazes that crash websites and sell hundreds of thousands of units in a day. The clubs he played for would lose millions of dollars in merch revenue that his name specifically brought in. The cultural phenomenon of seeing Ronaldo jerseys in virtually every country on the globe, from Europe to Asia to the Americas, might be replaced by a more even spread of various stars, but none with the ubiquity of CR7. On the mainland, Portugal benefited from Ronaldo's role in the national team's success. Winning the Euros in 2016 with Ronaldo as captain likely boosted Portugal's profile as a tourist destination and united the country, indirectly supporting consumer confidence and spending. The Portuguese government even awarded Ronaldo with medals and an airport renaming, because they recognized that he, quote-unquote, projected the image of Portugal to the whole world. Without him, Portugal loses an ambassador who, through sport, brought in tourists, investment, and global goodwill. The GDP contribution from Ronaldo-related tourism, while hard to precisely quantify, includes hundreds of millions of euros over the years from hotel stays, flights, food, and shopping that Ronaldo fans and media entourage spent in Portugal. All of that would be a giant hole in the economy. I know I've been yapping about $1 million this or $1 billion that, but now it's time to take a look at how the history books of football are rewritten without Ronaldo ever being born. Let's take it back to where it all started, and Ronaldo first became CR7. In 2003, Manchester United signed a rising star in Cristiano Ronaldo. At this point, the club had already cemented its place as one of the most successful in England, but it was Ronaldo's flair, goals, and marketability that propelled the Red Devils to an even greater global status. Between 2003 and 2009, Ronaldo scored 118 goals, helping them to 3 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League trophy, and a FIFA Club World Cup title. Now let's take these goals away and see how it impacts Manchester United's success during this time. From 2006 to 2009, United three-peated with Ronaldo unleashing for a total of 66 goals throughout this period. There are 4 instances in the 2006 and 7 season where Ronaldo's goals contributions directly affected the outcome of the game. Meaning without Ronaldo's goals, they wouldn't have been awarded the 3 points for winning games or the 1 point for drawing a game. Taking a look at these 4 games, you can see that Ronaldo's contributions were enough to get the draw or the win. But when we remove this from the equation, we can see that the draw turns into a loss, 2 of the wins turn into a draw, and 1 of the wins turns into a loss. This is enough to take away 8 points from Manchester United, directly affecting the outcome of the winner for this season. When we take a look at the table, we can see that Manchester moves down to 2nd place, giving Chelsea the title this year with a measly 2-point victory. Now I know a lot of you guys are thinking that with Ronaldo being God, other players will fill in the void, potentially scoring goals and changing the outcome of games. Specifically these ones that changed the outcome of the season. But unfortunately, there's no accurate way to really tell what would happen. So for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to remove Ronaldo's goals from each game and see what would the outcome be with everything else remaining constant. Now this effect is severely amplified in the next season, with Ronaldo dropping 31 goals for Manchester United, affecting the outcome of 8 different games. When we remove Ronaldo's goals from the equation, Manchester United loses a total of 14 points, falling from 1st to 5th place, giving Arsenal the title this year. And in the last year of the three-peat, they fall from 1st to 3rd, losing a total of 12 points, giving the title to Liverpool for the 08-09 season. There's also no Champions League trophy for United in 2008 without Ronaldo's goal in the final. This led the game to ending with a 1-1 score, leading to penalties in which Manchester United won it. Overall, Manchester United would be down 3 Premier League titles and a Champions League trophy without Ronaldo ever being conceived. But we're only just scratching the surface.
Muchas gracias y ahora voy a pedir a todos que digan conmigo, yo voy a contar hasta 3 y decimos todos a la Madrid, ¿vale? Vamos. 1, 2, 3. ¡A la Madrid!
Taking Ronaldo out of Real Madrid is when the history books really get shaken up. The record books of one of Europe's most decorated juggernauts in footballing history would be completely rewritten without Ronaldo's presence. He racked up 450 goals in just 438 matches, becoming Madrid's all-time leading scorer, while also being able to average a positive goal per game ratio, being the only player in Real Madrid's history to do so, proving he's a one of one in his own right. No one else even comes near him. Without Ronaldo being there, Karim Benzema would be the all-time leading scorer with 354 goals. That's almost 100 goals less than Ronaldo's record with 200 more games played than Ronaldo. It's just unfathomable. It gets even more crazier when you take a look at who holds the records for most goals in a single season for Real Madrid. Without Ronaldo, Puskas would be number 1 with 47 goals back in 1959. But Ronaldo absolutely shattered this record, holding the top 6 highest single goal scoring seasons for Real Madrid. And I'm sure it's safe to say that Real Madrid is not winning 4 Champions League titles without Ronaldo in their squad. I mean, he's at number 1 in the list when it comes to the all-time leading goal scorers in the Champions League. How much are they getting is really hard to say because they are still a talented team and they had 2 other future Ballon d'Or winners on this squad during this time. And another notable player comes up in conversation when you take away the goals that Ronaldo scored in the Champions League. That's right. His name is...
It's Messi! Again! The medicine man arrives and sends his flaming spear into the hearts of Real Madrid! Astonishing from Messi! Beautiful counter-attack!
What's next? What's up? I'm gonna get that too, but what's next?
One of the greatest rivalries in sports history is Messi vs Ronaldo. Each player consistently pushed each other to new heights. Would Messi still stay at Barcelona for so long? Possibly, but the driving force to beat Ronaldo in goal tallies, Ballon d'Or awards, and El Clasico matches must have been a significant motivator. Messi won his first Ballon d'Or in 2009, right after Ronaldo won his in 2008. They traded this award for a decade. If we take the runner-up for every year that Ronaldo won it and gave the Ballon d'Or to them instead, Messi would have a total of 13 Ballon d'Ors. He was a runner-up every single time Ronaldo won the award. But let's consider the motivational factor. Competition drives greatness. Without that fierce rivalry, maybe Messi's own drive to break records would wane slightly. Alternatively, he might have seized an unmatched reign. No direct competitor with a similar global marketing impact means more spotlight on Messi's alone. Thus, Messi might exceed his current number of Ballon d'Ors, or we might see a slightly less intense version of Messi. There's no perfect answer, but Ronaldo's absence certainly reshapes how Messi's story, and indeed football story, unfolds.